Hey, this is Mr. Perez. Today we're going to work on solving equations, part 1. But let's get Charlie out. He better be ready to go. Hey, Charlie, what are you doing? Well, today we're doing solving equations, part 1.
Part 1?
That's right. Next will be part 2.
What?
Anyway, let's get started right there. Solving equations, part 1. Now, let's bring out our first equation. Now remember, Charlie, we did this in pre-algebra. And this equation was simply asking you what number x do you subtract 3 from to get 7. Okay? And so what we're going to do is look at a number line and try to answer this question by inspection. Saying there's our 3 units, and Charlie, watch. What number do you subtract 3 from to get 7?
10.
That's right. By inspection, the answer is 10. Well, how do we solve the equation using algebra? Well, we first use the addition property of equality, which states that we can add the same number to both sides of an equation without affecting the solution. And being that adding negative numbers is the same as subtracting, we can subtract the same number to both sides without affecting the equation solution. Okay, Charlie, what do we do first here to get the variable isolated?
Add 3 to both sides.
Add 3 to both sides, that's right. So those 3's cancel out. Left-hand side, we're left with the x. Now the right-hand side, Charlie, we do 7 plus 3, which is what?
10.
10, that's right. It's exactly what you said before, right? So our answer is x equal 10. Well, how do we verify our solution is correct? Well, we go back to our original equation, substitute the x with a 10, and we see if we end up with a true statement. And of course, 10 subtract 3 is 7. So we know our solution is correct. Okay, Charlie, let's do another one right here. This equation is asking you, what number x do you add 3 to get 7? So what is it, Charlie?
4.
That's right. So let's look at our number line here. See, you should be able to see 4 plus 3 is 7. So by inspection, the answer is x equals 4. So in beginning algebra, these simple equations you should be able to do by inspection. Okay, but Charlie, to solve this equation using algebra, we have to do what to both sides?
Subtract 3.
That's right. Those 3's cancel out. X is left on the left-hand side. And now we do 7 subtract 3, which is what, Charlie?
4.
4, and that's our solution, x equals 4. Again, to verify your solution is correct, take the original equation, substitute x with your solution, x equals 4, and check if you end up with a true statement, and you do. So, we are correct. Okay, let's move on to another problem right here, Charlie. Right here. 2x subtract 3 equals 7. Remember, our goal is to first isolate the variables. Now that's 2x, 2 times x. That needs to be isolated first. What do we do to both sides?
Add 3.
That's right. So we add 3 to both sides. Those cancel out. Our left-hand side, we're left with 2x. And the right-hand side is 7 plus 3, which is 10, right? All right. Now, we have 2x is equal 10. Now, Charlie, what do we do to get the x isolated? In other words, what do we do to get 1x?
Divide both sides by 2.
That's right, divide both sides by 2, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, and that's 1x. And 1x equals 5, and that is your answer. Now again, to verify your solution is correct, we take our original equation, substitute the x with a 5, follow your order of operations. Remember, you must do the multiplication before you do the subtraction. 2 times 5 is 10, 10 subtract 3 equals 7. And so our answer is 7 equals 7, which is true, right? Now, since our final statement was true, then we say that the solution set to this equation is right there, 5. Okay? So, we don't have time in this video to check every single solution to every equation we're going to do. So you should do that on your own, and you should end up with a true statement, I hope. Anyway, Charlie, let's move on here. Let's go right here. Negative 2 times the quantity x subtract 4. Subtract 3x is equal to 5. What do we have to do first, Charlie?
Get rid of the parentheses.
Get rid of the parentheses. So generally what we do is first get rid of the parentheses, and then we combine like terms, and then we isolate our variable and get our solution and check if your answer is correct. Now, if you're having trouble seeing us combining the like terms, you need to go back and watch the combining like term videos. That way you'll be able to follow us better. Okay, but anyway, let's get to work, Charlie. Here we go. We got to get rid of the parentheses by using what property?
Distributive property.
That's right. So negative 2 times x is what?
Negative 2x.
That's right. Now we're treating that subtract 4 as a negative 4, right? And when we distribute the negative 2 to the negative 4, negative 2 times negative 4 is a?
Positive 8.
Positive 8. So we add a positive 8. That's right. Bring down our work. There you go. Now, we combine like terms on the left-hand side, Charlie. So what's a negative 2x plus a negative 3x?
Negative 5x.
That's right. And so bring down your work. Now, what comes next, Charlie?
Subtract 8 from both sides.
That's right. Subtract 8 from both sides. That isolates the negative 5x on the left-hand side. Right-hand side, what's 5 plus a negative 8?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. Same as 5 subtract 8, right? 5 subtract 8 is negative 3. Now, remember, we want a positive 1x, Charlie. So we have a negative 5 times x. What do we do to both sides?
Divide by negative 5.
Divide by negative 5, because the negative divided by negative is positive. So let's put our work up there. Left-hand side, we get x. Right-hand side, we have a negative divided by a negative, which is a positive, so our answer is positive 3/5. Again, if you want to verify your solution is correct, you need to substitute the x in the original equation with a positive 3/5 and see if you end up with 5 equals 5 at the end. You should. All right, Charlie, let's do another one here. Negative 3 times the quantity x plus 4, subtract 5, equals a negative 1. Remember, that's a negative 1 times the quantity 2 subtract x. All right, Charlie, so first we're going to get rid of our parentheses by using what property?
Distributive property.
That's right. So up here, negative 3 times x is what?
Negative 3x.
That's right. What's negative 3 times a positive 4?
Negative 12.
That's right. Bring down your negative 5. Now the right-hand side. What's negative 1 times 2?
Negative 2.
That's right. And what's a negative 1 times a negative 1x?
Positive x.
Positive 1x. That's right. And so there you go. Now, next we're going to combine like terms, right? On the left-hand side, we have like terms. What are the like terms on the left-hand side, Charlie?
Negative 12 and negative 5.
That's right, a negative 12 and a negative 5. So we'll add negative 12 plus a negative 5, right? But first, let's bring down our negative 3x. Charlie, what's negative 12 plus a negative 5?
Negative 17.
That's right. Bring down your work on the right-hand side. Now, at this point, we have 4 different paths we can take to get to the solution. Now, in these videos, we don't have time to do all 4 different paths. So we're going to stick to one approach, and that is to put our variables on the left-hand side and put all of our constants on the right. So that's just our approach, but you can try it the other different ways. No matter how you do it, we should all get the same solution. So let me explain the other different approaches that you could take. Well, first, you could add 3x to both sides to cancel out the x's on the left-hand side. You could do that. Or you can add 17 to both sides. That would cancel the negative 17 on the left-hand side, and then you'd work from there. You could also add 2 to both sides. That would cancel that negative 2 on the right-hand side, and then you'd have to work from there. Or subtract x to both sides, and that will cancel the x's on the right-hand side, right? On that right-hand side, and you would isolate the variables to the left-hand side. That's the approach that we will always use in these videos, okay? So notice we had the x on the right-hand side, so we subtract x to cancel it out. Now watch what happens, Charlie. What's a negative 3x plus a negative 1x?
Negative 4x.
That's right. Bring down your work, and notice on the right-hand side, all you have is a negative 2. There you go. That's our approach. Now, let's put our work up there. Now, Charlie, we're trying to get the variables isolated on the left-hand side, so what do I need to do?
Add 17.
That's right. Okay, so those negative 17 plus 17, those cancel, leaving you with negative 4x plus negative 2 plus 17 is what, Charlie?
15.
15. And finally, to get the 1x, the positive 1x, we do what to both sides?
Divide by negative 4.
That's right. Divide by negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is a 1, and that's a 1x. The right-hand side, a positive divided by negative is negative, and so our answer is negative 15/4. There we go. So that completes part 1. Now we're ready for part 2. We'll see you again soon.